Hey guys, welcome to Project Life, and I am going to dive into doing videos for this. Wasn't something I was planning on doing, but I figured I'd give it a shot and share with you guys. I've been sharing some spreads on Instagram. This is April, so I've already done January, February, and March, and so I may go back and do some walkthroughs for those, but I think going forward, I'm going to try to do some process videos here just to show you my thought process, right? I've already typed out my journaling, and you'll see here I have journaling inside of a vellum pocket. I have done some journaling on 3x4 cards, and then these are from a 12x12 paper from the Daily Ali Edwards Quarterly Scrapbook Kit. So I did that already on the computer. A couple pieces from the April 2024 Scrapbook by the Month kit, as well as some chipboard from that same kit. Not using any of the cards this time from that kit. I'm just kind of it's a hodgepodge, right? It's just a hodgepodge of different things. My photos, I have one to go on the back of that tag, and then I have one 4x6 photo, and then a bunch of photos that I printed in 3x4 with the white borders around them. So I'll be cutting them into 3x4. Right now, just a little bit of the edging needs to be cut off. I have two photos that are 5 inches by 8.25 inches. These will be outside of the page protector. I did some journaling on a 3 3/4 by 8 1/4 page, and then I created this super fun page of that same size with words to a song. And then I have some other papers here that I'm thinking on using. I haven't quite made my decision yet, so I brought them all here to kind of walk through that thought process with you. So the first spread I'm going to do is going to be with these speech bubble story cards. Again, they are from a 12x12 paper. I cut them out, and I'm going to be pairing them with some 3x4 photos. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of trim these up. And I don't think I'm going to use all of these photos. If you're interested in my thought process for my photos, I do have a lesson in one of my big picture classes, Authentic Storytelling 2, where I actually go through the whole process of how I decide what photos to put in Project Life, what photos that I put into bigger spreads with more details. And that lesson is available if you are a subscriber to Big Picture Classes. That'll give you an idea of how I get to where I am. Most of the time I don't print out photos I'm not going to use, but this time I had some choices and I just wasn't quite sure. So I'm working on the back of a 6x8 page protector with the 4 pockets, and I'll pull another one of those page protectors in here as well. Each of these little story cards has a photo that goes along with it. These are just random stories from the month, and one thing that I wanted to tell you was that I do not worry about chronological here. It's by the month. So I don't necessarily feel obligated to put the photos in any particular chronological order. And you'll see here that I'm going to be stamping the date. There's a little spot underneath the word story. It's really, really tiny. And so I pull out this tiny date stamp and just kind of do a test stamp to see if it's going to fit in that little spot. And it looks like it's going to. So I go ahead and I stamp the date for each one of these cards. I also need to trim these cards down a little bit because they are a little bit taller than 4 inches, so they're sticking out of the top. I'll do that for each of those and slide them in there. And I could do this one of two ways. I could put all of the photos across the top and all of the cards along the bottom, or vice versa. What I chose to do was to alternate. So a photo on the top, card on the bottom, card on the top, photo on the bottom. So again, either way, it doesn't matter. Both ways would look absolutely wonderful. I just decided to kind of mix it up a bit, just kind of stagger things. And I like the repetitious nature of this. It's fun to have repeated elements. I think this is the first month that I actually did repeat an element like this. When I did Project Life a few years back, that was one of my big things to make this whole project easier for me, was to repeat elements. And I'm definitely finding that that is still very true when it comes to Project Life. I've been using the Scrapbook by the Month kits, which is great, but it's a little bit different than kind of picking out elements and repeating them. Okay, so once I have that all together, my next spread is going to begin on the back side of that 6x8 pocket with the 4 photos. So I will slide these photos into the pockets. I'm not really sure if I will be embellishing these or not. At this point, the embellishing will probably come last for this if I do any embellishing at all. But I will get them slid in there. You'll see 2 are black and white, 2 are colored, so I kind of staggered those as well. And then I have these 2 pieces of paper. They are 3 3/4 by 8 1/4. The one is just from one of the, I think it's the Hobby scrapbook kit with speech bubbles. And then I created this fun page that just has the words to one of the songs on there. And I'm using that as a background. So I just did that in Photoshop Elements, put them back to back, punch the holes in them, and I have a QR code that I'm going to adhere on top, right above the words lonely and world. And I'm going to use some foam adhesive to kind of pop that up just a bit. Here's my big bowl of tabs. I created these a few days ago. Just went in and pulled the digital version of the tab stickers into my Silhouette Cameo software, and I printed and I cut using that software. I did this the other day with several different colors. So you'll see there's just a whole bunch of different colors. They're not stickers, but we just have to put adhesive on the back. And these are probably one of my most favorite embellishments, and one of the reasons why I'm enjoying this 6x8 Project Life so much. I love the different sizes, and I love being able to put those little tabs on the edges. It's just super, super fun, and it's just like one surprise after another, right? You turn the page and you don't know what's going to be next. And not that you can't do that in a larger size, but this side is just so adorable, and I've really been enjoying myself. Okay, these 2 photos are going to go back to back. They're both 5 by 8 1/4, so I will adhere them back to back. And then I have one phrase die cut from the April Scrapbook by the Month kit that I chose. Just kind of trimming it down a little bit because it is quite long and I want it to fit across my 5-inch page there. I get myself a little silver brad, poke the little hole out, and I'll put a brad in there just for a little bit of dimension. And then I'll go ahead and just adhere that on top of the journaling that I already typed onto the photo before I printed. So very simple, but printing onto photos is just great fun when you have some white space that you're working with. In this case, my white space was black, so I used white font color. On the other side, we have another photo. I'm going to pick out another tab from my little bowl of tabs, and I'm going to go ahead, trying to mix it up a bit. I'm going to choose red here because my QR code is done in red, so just matching it a little bit. It doesn't really matter. I'm not so much into matching as I used to be. I was very, very strict on that years ago where everything had to match. But now it's just color, right? I love color and all different kinds of color. All right, so once I get that done, I am working now with this vellum pocket. I believe it was an add-on with the Delight Story Kit. I pulled out the tag and did my journaling on there, and then I cut a photo using the tag as a template just to adhere it to the back of the tag. So that's just me sitting in my new truck, and I want to punch the hole in there because I'm going to use some twine, and I'm going to actually put a couple different tags hanging off of this tag. There is my little cup full of chipboard phrases. If you saw my video where I did some organizing of my stash, I got these awesome holders with these cups that come out. And so I can just pull the one cup out and dump it out on my desk and then just start going through it. And in this case, I'm looking for something to put on top of that journaling. So I think I end up finding 2 that I was considering, and then I went with the yellow one. And I thought that kind of just brought a little bit more color onto that white background there. So we'll stick that on there. And let's see, it fits in the pocket nicely. That's great. And here's a tag from, again, the April 2024 Scrapbook by the Month kit. And then there's the key tag from my truck. I saved that. Trying to save ephemera again. I kind of fell off the wagon with that, but now I'm trying my best to save these little tiny things that I could add into my pages. And in this case, it already has a hole in it, so it's perfect. And I'm going to use some twine to thread the tag and then the key tag onto that bigger tag with the journaling. And then that'll be something that people can just kind of pick up and take a look at when they pull it out of the vellum pocket. You'll notice that I go ahead and I do end up changing the way I tied that tag because it wasn't staying very well and I wasn't too happy with it. So I will end up changing that and tying it into a little bit of a better knot. Here I'm looking for what kind of paper I want to use as my background. The one green was a little bit too bright for me. This one is sort of a green. It has like the map pattern on it, the street map pattern on it. And so I thought, driving, streets, that kind of goes together. Trimmed it down to 3 3/4 by 8 1/4, and I'm going to adhere it back to back with that really awesome mixed media card, and I think that was from the Around Here story kit. So that's going to be on the other side. Punching my holes in here, then going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere the vellum pocket onto that background and see how it's going to lie in there in my album. And I think it fits and I think it looks pretty good. So here's where you're going to see that I adhere it, and I think this is probably where I retie that twine on there just so that it can be moved but not come undone, because it was coming undone with the way that I had originally tied it. So this puts it in there a little bit better and keeps it in place. And I love pockets, and I love the fact that somebody has to kind of interact with my scrapbooks in order to see what's going on inside of these little pockets. It's just fun. I know we all love that, and that's something that kind of comes from that whole, December daily thing. And I kind of pull that into my everyday scrapbooking as well. Okay, so turning this over, I have one last page protector. This is the 3 pocket with the 4x6 on the bottom. That's going to be the last page for April. I did forget to use those tab stickers, so I think I end up using one of them. And I'll save them for another time, right? Saving them for another time. I could never get enough tab stickers anyway. Here are my Eclipse glasses. My plan here is to take this 3x4 card that I typed my journaling on and use some foam adhesive around the 3 sides. So leaving the top open and then putting the foam adhesive on. I'm not sure if this adhesive is going to be good enough or thick enough to fit the glasses. I do pull out my super heavy duty adhesive, but then I thought, let's see how this works first. So I continue on with the skinny stuff. It's a little bit thinner. It's not as thick as the other stuff. And it looks like it's going to work. My glasses are going to slide right underneath that card. So I will pull off the backing and then I will adhere that to that fun mixed media background. And then you'll be able to slide the glasses in and out. Not like I'll ever use them again. I think the next Eclipse with these glasses is in 2044. And in my journal, you'll see at that point, I'll be 73 years old. So God willing, I'm here. I might use those glasses again. So here I am actually using one of the tab stickers from the April Scrapbook by the Month kit. And as always, just kind of using my tiny attacher to get that in place and keep it there. And then sliding my cards back into the vellum pocket. And that is fun. I'm really, really excited about how this turned out. This is fun. Just all these different spreads and stuff. I start to embellish here a little bit. I pull out one of the chipboard pieces from the April kit and I put it in the white space above my truck there. You'll see after I show you how everything turned out on my album that I do end up adding a few more embellishments to things after I'm done recording this video. But for this one, I'm just going to get a silver tiny brad and I am going to put it in the tiny hole in that chipboard tag. And then underneath the tag, I'm going to stamp the date. So the date that I bought my truck is the date. I had to look that up there because I couldn't remember. I think I used some score tape for this. Nope. Actually, I don't. I use my regular rolling adhesive. I go back and forth. Put that on there, and then, of course, the date underneath. And that is it for that page for now. for now. You'll see I do some other things to some of the other pages as well. On here, I am just going to stamp the date of the eclipse. I believe that was April the 8th. And I'm only going to put it on one of the photos. All of those photos are from that day, obviously. So one of the photos is enough for that. And then I will call it done for now. And you'll see here that I have the first spread with the speech bubbles, and then the concert spread with the speech bubbles and the numbers. Again, speech bubbles are fun as well. And then my QR code, so that is awesome. I do want to put the date down here at the bottom, just because I don't have the date for the concert anywhere on any of the photos or anything. All right, so this is how everything turned out. These are all of my spreads for April. And let's go ahead and take a quick look at what everything looks like once everything is in my album and I have finished messing around with them. So here you go. And if you can see here, the only thing I changed on this spread was I had some sticker banners in my stash. And since I've been de-stashing, I did have them pulled out and on my desk. So I went ahead and put a little sticker banner in the upper left-hand corner of each of my photos for this spread. Other than that, I didn't change anything else at all. And then moving on to the next spread, let's take a look at changes that I made to that one. This is the one about the concert. I did add a few asterisks to the speech bubbles. I added the date in the lower left-hand corner of that paper, and then I put a circle Saturday from one of the Daily Scrapbook Kit papers right in the middle of those 4 photos. So I didn't put anything on the photos, I just put something right in the middle to kind of bring them together. Moving on to the back page, I didn't make any changes here at all. I just love, this is probably my favorite part of this particular spread. I love the words. And I think all of us know that when we hear the words, just a small town girl, if you are in my age group, you probably know exactly what words come next, and you could probably sing along to the entire song. And I just thought it would be a fun idea to put the words in different sizes on a page. And so the QR code just kind of shows you the part of the concert where they actually sang that song. So that is super fun. I love QR codes. And here's my truck spread. I don't think I made any changes here either, but I do love that little key tag hanging outside of the vellum pocket. Yeah, remember that ephemera, guys, because sometimes I forget. So I'm trying to be more mindful of that, because adding those things in just make everything so authentic, and it's just fun. And then, of course, the last one here is the one about the eclipse, where I used the glasses underneath the 3x4 card. Here I ended up adding some chipboard arrows and some chipboard phrases, along with some chipboard baby stars. So that was all I did. I felt like it needed a little something, so I went ahead and added those. And that is it for April. I had a lot of fun with this spread, and I'm really enjoying this 6x8 format. Right now in my season of life, I am an empty nester and I am single, and I just don't take the number of pictures that I used to. So this size works really well for me. And like I mentioned earlier, I also love just having the variety of page sizes. It's just fun. And so I will continue to do this. If you have any questions, you could leave them in the comments below. If you enjoy watching my Project Life video, let me know. This was not something I was planning on doing, so I'm just trying to gauge whether or not it's worth the time. So if you think you want to continue to see these, let me know that as well. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully we will see you soon in my next video. Have a great day.